Okay, today we are talking about the top 5 electrical wiring mistakes to avoid. So I've worked in the facilities maintenance space for almost a quarter century now. Did a little bit of time as a residential technician. This top 5 list is my real world experience and observations that I've noticed of mistakes that I have found throughout the course of my career. Number 1 would be using the wrong size wire or the wrong gauge of wire or the wrong type of wire. So these are both 14 gauge wires. This one here is stranded wire. And on stranded wire, you see it actually tells you what gauge it is. And this is copper wire, 14 gauge stranded copper wire. And they look very similar. You can see this one is solid copper wire. So you can see the difference. It's a solid piece of wire. And you can use the wrong size or wrong gauge wire depending on what the ampacity rating is for the circuit you're working on. So keep that in mind. So for example, this is a circuit breaker. Is it a 15 amp breaker, 20 amp breaker, 30 amp breaker, etc.? You see the difference between stranded copper wire and solid copper wire. And you can do a quick Google search to see what wire gauge you need to use for your circuit that you're working on, depending on what the ampacity is for that circuit. And you can check that by looking at the circuit breaker and the circuit breaker panel. Number 2, common electrical wiring mistake I see is incorrectly wiring devices. So here I have a 120 volt receptacle and a regular on-off light switch. This is a GFCI protected receptacle. You see these slots are different sizes, different shapes. There's a reason for that. You can see the screw terminals are different colors. So the white to bright. White goes to the silver colored screw, B to B, black to brass, and green to ground. So your green ground wire goes in that green ground screw. And then your white neutral wire goes to the bright silver colored screw. And you'll see here it even tells you hot wire on this side, white neutral wire on the other side. So make sure you double check where you're hooking up your hot and neutral wires to get it correct. And these also have a rating. This one's rated for a 20 amp circuit, 125 volt, 20 amp. You see that there? So again, if you got a 20 amp circuit breaker, install a 20 amp receptacle, keep it simple. There are some few exceptions to that, but just keep it simple. This one you can see is only rated for 15 amps. So again, this would be like on a 15 amp circuit, 15 amp light switch here. And you can see you got 2 brass colored screws of the same color. So you got your black hot wire coming in to the switch, and then a black hot wire going out to the light fixture. And then your green ground wire goes on the green ground screw. So the third common wiring mistake I find is bending the loops in the proper direction. If you look on this pair of wire stripper cutters here, there's a little hole that says loop that helps you bend the loop in your wire.
Wow.
And there's a correct way to install this loop on a screw terminal. Like so. So that way as you tighten that screw terminal down, it doesn't undo your wire or push the wire out. So I hope that makes sense. I'll show you again. All right, so your loop should go like this. And then you can tighten your screw down and it'll hold it tightly, and the wire's not gonna come undone as you tighten the screw. This one also is nice because this particular receptacle allows you to attach the wire like so. Has this little brass plate, so as you tighten the screw down, it'll tighten the plate down against the wire, and that holds nice and tight. I would avoid using the backstab type connections. They don't hold very well. Number 4 is an open splice like you see here. This is a code violation and a fire hazard. Every splice needs to be inside a junction box with a cover on top. You never want to have exposed wires like this. This is called an open splice. It's not safe. Last but not least is missing ground wires or disconnected ground wires. Always make sure to connect your ground wire to your green ground screw terminals on your receptacles and light switches. I can't tell you the number of times I've looked inside a switch box or inside a receptacle and the wire is completely missing, or it's laying inside the box and not attached at all. That's a code violation and a safety hazard. What other electrical wiring mistakes have you come across that you think people should know about so we can all stay safe? Leave a comment down below and let me know. I'd like to tell you right quick about a Practical Facilities Maintenance Handbook, now available on Amazon in ebook and paperback format. It has common facilities documents, signage, tags, resource material, as well as shop equipment drawings in the back of the book that you can use to fabricate equipment for your facility. The link for this book is in the video description below. If you need shirts, hats, mugs, or weather-resistant stickers for your facility, there is a link in the video description below for this online store where you can buy the products you see here. I hope this information helps you. Please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment, and thanks for watching.